Jonathan Kuminga's on his way back, and Festus Ezeli joins the Locked On Warriors program. What a show we got for you. Let's go.
Who cares now? Because I'm here, and I would like to think that I am wanted here.
Most importantly, he a dog.
We got 4 championships.
You are Locked On Warriors,
I know Jimmy drinks great wine.
your daily Golden State Warriors podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Speculation is just what it is, though.
Your team every day.
Forget that purgatory that the Warriors were in for so much of this year and all of last year. This is a completely different team. They've won 10 in a row with Jimmy Butler in the lineup, and now they return Jonathan Kuminga to the fold, who was playing some of his best basketball before he was injured. More on that in just a second. This is Locked On Warriors. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We got Festus Ezeli on the show. My name's Charlie Walter, formerly at 95.7 The Game, was a talk show host in the San Francisco Bay Area. That is the flagship for the Golden State Warriors. Here, Tim Roy on the call. Also covered the team, their championship run for CBS News Bay Area. Call letters KPIX. If you want a free daily newsletter, again, it's free. It's sent straight to your inbox and has a bunch of Warriors news, notes, and nuggets, plus a link to the show. You find it at lockedondaily.com. All right, meat and potatoes. Before we welcome on Festus, we're going to get to Jonathan Kuminga. Later on in the show, we'll talk about Steph Curry heading to Davidson in a GM role. We have all the details of that, but let's start with Jonathan Kuminga, who was playing his best basketball right before he was injured, was averaging 21 points in the month of December, plus 6 rebounds. He was taking the ball to the basket. He was effective, shooting at 46% from the floor. His best three-point numbers of the year, shooting at 35% from deep. Now the question becomes, how does he slide in? What does the rotation look like? Who is potentially getting some of their minutes nixed from the return of Jonathan Kuminga? But one thing that we know is that his athleticism and his ability to play above the rim and his just potential is going to be a welcomed addition. How does it all fit in? That's what we're going to have to find out, but it does sound like the first step to finding out will be on Thursday. Sacramento Kings are coming to Chase Center, and per the sources, Kuminga will go through the final necessary checkpoints. That includes Wednesday's practice, but if all goes well at Wednesday's practice, the plan is for his 31-game absence to end as the Warriors prep for the playoff push. That's ridiculous. 31 games. It has been that long. He was supposed to be reevaluated 2 weeks later. He was reevaluated 2 weeks later. This has dragged on for an eternity. And the crazy thing is that when the Warriors lost Kuminga, the Butler news, it hadn't even sparked a conversation. Like, we were wondering if the Warriors were going to go after Vucevic or if it was Levine or if they were going to stay put. We had no idea what to expect. Kuminga goes down. Podziemski was already down at that point. And we thought the Warriors were stuck in purgatory, and at best, they better stay afloat around 500 and hope that they can sneak into the play-in and maybe make things exciting. Forget play-in, and granted that they still may play in the play-in. That's how good the competition has been behind Golden State, specifically the Minnesota Timberwolves, who all of a sudden cannot lose and are playing their best basketball. But hey, the Warriors are in the catbird seat, and if they don't lose, then guess who's the number 6 seed at the very least? It would be Golden State. But we talked about staying afloat. Even when they traded for Jimmy Butler, my messaging was always, just stay afloat. Stay in the mix. Stay a game within the Clippers, 2 games within the Clippers. Kuminga returns. Then you kind of unleash everything, and you see how it looks. And forget just staying afloat. The Warriors have won 10 straight with Jimmy on the floor. They have won now, at this point, 5 straight overall. Granted, it's the Blazers, it's the Pistons, it's the Nets, it's the Knicks, and it's the Hornets. But the Blazers are playing better basketball. The Pistons are playing as good a basketball as anyone in the league. The Knicks are still the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. And at the end of the day, Kevin Harlan said it best on our show the other day. This is a very competitive league. If you're not ready to play, you're going to lose. And the fact that the Warriors have been able to win 5 in a row and 10 of their last 11 is a very, very positive sign. But the Warriors are 37-28 right now. So forget the whole talks of 500. You remember, and you can thank me later, I gave you all the lock at the beginning of the season, 43.5 wins. I said, smash that over. Smash it. For a long time, it didn't look good. That bet's going to cash by mid-March, most likely. 7 wins away. Cash in 2 weeks. So 9 games above 500. How do you integrate Jonathan Kuminga? Who slides to the bench? Does Kuminga once again come off the bench like he was doing before the injury? God, this season it's changed so much. Remember when Draymond Green said that he was going to go to the bench and accept the lesser role so Jonathan Kuminga could step in, and it was JK's time to shine? That lasted for like a game. Then JK was coming off the bench. Draymond has not given up his role whatsoever. Butler slides in, and now he's the talk of town. It's going to be fascinating seeing Kuminga return, because if there's one thing we found out quickly about Jimmy Butler, it's that he makes literally everyone on the floor around him better. He does the little things. He does the big things. He does everything in between. And one of the things I'm most excited about is with Butler putting so much pressure on the rim, how can Kuminga attack the glass? That's one thing I want to know. 2, how does he move off the ball? Jimmy's got such a great basketball brain. He has such good passing abilities and is a willing passer. Like, how's Kuminga going to be cutting, moving away from the ball? And then just having Kuminga and Butler and Draymond on the floor at the same time, 3 guys that will put pressure on the rim. How do you round out that lineup? If that's your closing 3 right there, forwards-wise, how do you round it out? Do you go with Curry Pods? Do you go with Curry Buddy? Do you go with Curry Moody? Do you go with Curry Post? Peyton? There's so many different options that the Warriors can go with, and I'm intrigued. I am intrigued to see how Jonathan Kuminga completes this 15-piece puzzle. And if you're a Warriors fan, you are not going to complain about Jonathan Kuminga returning to the fold. You don't think that it would affect the way that they've been playing whatsoever. In fact, it should give them more confidence. The Warriors should be oozing with confidence right now. So you have to feel good with JK coming back at a pretty crucial stretch coming up, because you're fighting some of these teams that you are playing. The Sacramento Kings, who are chasing you right now for that 6th seed. They're still in contention. Then it's the New York Knicks. Then it's Denver. Then you have Milwaukee. That's 4 straight. Remember when I said a month ago, these teams on the Warriors' schedule are very losable? A month ago, these are all losable games. Sacramento, New York, Denver, Milwaukee. Now you look at those 4 and you say, can the Warriors have a winning record coming out of this 4-game stretch? Can they take care of business against Sacramento, New York, and then split one against Milwaukee or Denver? Because then after that, it's losing record teams. It's Toronto, it's Atlanta, it's Miami, it's New Orleans, it's San Antonio. 5 games in a row that on paper and on the Vegas line, the Warriors are going to be pretty hefty favorites in, you would think, even though the majority of those games are on the road. All right, Festus Ezeli, you've waited long enough. My interview with the Warriors NBA champion and now broadcaster of Warriors pre and post on NBC Sports Bay Area, that is coming up.
And most importantly, he a dog.
We need more dogs.
When I found out Skims was making underwear for men, I was intrigued. I've heard so much about the quality of their underwear from my friends and family, so I gave it a try, and it lived up to the hype. I've always had issues with underwear, whether it was fit, comfort, or just finding the right style. Skims changed that. Their men's line offers something for everyone, from boxer briefs to classic briefs, and they're all designed with the perfect balance of comfort and style. I tried the Skims. I'd say my favorite is the Stretch 5 boxer brief. I've tried about 3 different pairs. The Stretch 5, the Cotton 3, and the Stretch 3. But the Stretch 5 has truly changed my life. Whether I'm working out or running errands, it's multi-purpose. It's a dual-threat underwear. You don't feel like you're wearing that synthetic underwear and you're walking around in gym clothes all day. But at the same time, it gives you the movement you need. It takes shape, never rides up. Maybe it's in my head, but I swear, in the gym, since I started the Stretch 5 boxer brief, I feel like Hasselhoff, and you can too. Shop Skims Men's at skims.com/LockedOnNBA and Skims stores. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu that follows.
Destroy Jimmy and Domino's. I know Jimmy drinks great wine.
All right, so which of you Warriors fans out there want to interact with Festus Ezeli, also have the opportunity to play on the Chase Center floor? Warriors swag and a customized jerseys involved, and also a happy hour with some ice-cold Michelob Ultras. That sounds like a good time because Michelob Ultras having their play like a pro. Festus Ezeli is involved. Warriors pre and post, you can hear him now, and you know him from his playing days. NBA champion for the Golden State Warriors from 2012 to 2016. How we doing, man? Good to have you on.
What's happening? What's up, Charlie? I'm excited to be on.
Doing well, man. So let's start with that. How we get here with this event? How are the Warriors fans getting a chance to meet you rather than anyone else?
Well, I've become a fixture of sorts here in the Bay Area. Won a championship with the Warriors, and we don't do that without our fans. So they've given us so much, and it's just it's only right that we give back to our fans. So it's just Michelob Ultra is the perfect partner to do this. I'm excited for them to be on the floor. It's really exciting every time people get to be on the floor where Steph Curry plays. They try to shoot like him on there, and they get Warrior swag, jerseys, all the things, and we get to celebrate afterwards. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
No doubt about it. You can enter at Michelob Ultra's Superior Access website. Do that before March 14th. All right, let's talk about your playing days for the Golden State Warriors, though, because you joined the team right as the culture's shifting, right as you're getting into NBA championship mode. You win a title. You see the well-oiled machine rise and then fall and then rise and then kind of halfway fall, rise again. It always rises, though. What is the biggest wow factor when it comes to this organization that just allows them to consistently avoid the dreaded either lottery, purgatory, whatever it may be?
I will say what I've always said. This is the house that Steph Curry built. And when you have a leader like that, a guy who, is selfless, his work ethic is off the charts. He has supreme and utmost confidence in his abilities because of all the work that he puts in. But most importantly, he's an incredible teammate. When you build your franchise on somebody like that, like it's no surprise that it continues to be successful. Players go in and out, and usually when players come here, they play better. They find new parts of their games. They play defense like they never played before. Check out Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins was a scorer before he came to the Warriors, and he became a two-way player that helped the Warriors win a championship. And you can go up and down the line with that. Then you have a guy like Draymond Green who's been incredible. He has the fire and the passion, and he continues to support this team and to protect Steph and to find ways to make his teammates better. So if you have these two guys, I feel like two guys who are winners, who always believe that they should be winning, um, and then a franchise and an organization that wants to find ways to support them. They just got Jimmy Butler, which has really turned things around this season. When you have the players that want to play and have this competitive edge, and you have an organization that wants to support them, of course you're going to have the success that they've had so far.
In the last 2 weeks, Festus, we've seen a Steph Curry 50 burger. We've seen 40 points. We've seen 30 on a poor night in their last game. So you're entering the league the same time that Steph's really coming into his own, dealing with some injuries. But still, I mean, we knew it from his Davidson days. Like the guy could hoop. There was no doubt about it. The questions weren't whether he could put the ball in the basket. When did you find out, like what year did it click to you that this guy was special?
Day one of practice. Day one, I saw Steph show up at practice. We had an 11 a.m. practice, and Steph was in there at like 6 a.m. And this is preseason. This is before training camp. And, that level of dedication, he was so hungry. He was, obviously he had come off from a season where he played like 26 games due to his ankle injuries. And injuries will do something to you. I know about this. It gives you a new lease on life. And I think after missing so much time and he got back on the court, he just wanted to put everything and give everything he had. So you could see it every day in the way the intention he showed up with at practice every day. Obviously, it didn't help to have games like the game at Madison Square Garden where he had 54, I want to say. Well, that's the game where it was like his coming out party. This is the biggest stage. That's the Mecca. We all want to go play at the Garden. And we got to watch Steph put up 50 plus points in the same place where we saw Kobe put up 61. And, that was one of those moments where we all looked around like, oh, this dude is for real. We had seen him put up some shows before that, but Steph Curry just continued to amaze all of us. And Mark Jackson said back then, he said, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, this is the best shooting backcourt in the history of the NBA. And a lot of us didn't even understand what he was saying. We just thought he was trying to rally the troops. And Steph Curry really heard it. He answered the call, and he just continued to show up every day. Win or loss, he showed up with joy. He showed up with this competitive fire. And it felt like as a player on the court, I was both trying to help us win and constantly in awe of whatever Steph was doing. Like, I'm a player, but I'm also a fan. I don't know what's going on. Should I be celebrating? Should I be running back on defense? That's kind of what it is like to play with Steph Curry.
Yeah, I always wonder what year 2K finally gave him the 99 shooting overall. How long that took. Probably not long with how he was playing. But you've seen pretty much every Warriors home game this year, the past year, whether it's in Thrive City, whether it's in the arena. You're very close to the action. How much have you seen just a different makeup surrounding the entire team and fan base and just vibes right now surrounding this team since Jimmy Butler has been integrated?
Well, everybody's excited. Everyone believes there's a confidence, there's a swagger to the team right now that I haven't seen in a couple of years. And, when you have an all-star, all-world player like Steph Curry, having that much attention, that much gravity every night. I feel like this season, the first half of the season, I feel like it was a lot on his shoulders, and he had to carry and really slog to get the team to the finish line. Having another guy in Jimmy Butler, what he's done is created an inside presence. I feel like for some of the season, you just see a lot of guys try to hoist threes from the 3-point line, and what you see with Jimmy is another dog in the game. Steph is going to kill you from outside. Jimmy's going to kill you from the inside, and it leaves this middle ground for guys like Draymond Green to be effective. Brandon Projemski, Buddy Hield, Moses Moody has been incredible, and you have the emergence of big men like Quentin Post, Trace Jackson Davis. Like, these guys can come into the game and be effective. And I think in the NBA that your role player's effect is usually the difference between winning and losing. And right now, Jimmy Butler has so much attention that him combined with Steph Curry has made this team very, very formidable. And they're looking to be that going into the playoffs.
What was playing with Draymond Green like? What was Green like in the locker room as a teammate? Plus Steph Curry taking on a new role as an assistant GM, huh? More on that coming up.
I'm good. All of that is behind me.
Your home should reflect your style, and with Wayfair, it's easier than ever to make that happen. Whether you're looking for a simple refresh or tackling a big home project, Wayfair has everything you need in one place. Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find the perfect piece no matter your space or budget. From cozy furniture and stylish decor to kitchen essentials and outdoor must-haves, Wayfair has it all, and at prices that fit your budget. You can find the perfect piece. I found a new rug that tied my living room together. It's easy shopping and delivery. You can compare styles. It arrives fast with free delivery, and it's more than just furniture. They got storage solutions, patio decor. It should be all things when it comes to purchasing home goods. Head over to wayfair.com and find something that's just your style today. That's wayfair.com, wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
Forget that. We champs. Why you starting with that question? We got 4 championships.
Being a teammate of Draymond's, did he ever scare you? I mean, I know you're bigger than Draymond at the end of the day, so not in that sense, but like, what is he like in terms of a locker room vocal leader and someone that leads by example and quite frankly is not afraid to tell it how it is? It's always been the way that he's operated.
Personally, I loved it. That's what I love that part of the game. I think that you need to have that, a little bit of that, because over the course of a season, like if everybody's a nice guy, like it's kind of hard to win that way. You need to have people who are gonna do the things on the court, like the dirty things, which you call like the rebound is the dirty thing, diving on for loose balls, getting steals. This is why we say defense wins championships, because like shooting and making baskets is cute and it's cool, but you need people who, when the baskets are not falling, because offense is up and down. When those things aren't going, you need somebody to rally the troops, to get everybody to be on attention, to really get to stop the other teams. And I thought Draymond has done a great job of being that. He's been this cornerback, the guy to help cover up for other people's mistakes defensively. You've seen a lot of tenacity from him, and the vocal leadership has also called people to order and gotten them to really step their games up. You heard him recently say, well, the Warriors are going to win a championship. That wasn't just a declaration to the world. That was to his teammates. Like, everybody talks about the fact that Draymond's saying this thing. I thought that was brilliant. He looked around and said, we have another dog on our team in Jimmy Butler, and he's going to be accompanying Steph Curry. Now, all troops, let's go. Let's get on that. You know what time it is. And I think that's something that I've always loved about Draymond and what he's done. Like, he understands the big picture of the game, and that's one of his special qualities.
All right, Festus Ezeli, catch him on Warriors pre and post. First of all, get your opportunity to catch him in the Michelob Ultra. Play like a pro, interact with them, hop on center court, get yourself a customized jersey. You know you want to. And Festus, please give my best to Television's Bonte Hill. No longer radios, but Television's Bonte Hill. Give him my best from the old 95.7.
Bonte is my guy. That's my point guard, man. He does a great job on TV, and yeah, that's my guy.
No doubt about it. Thanks, man.
Of course. Thank you.
How about the Steph Curry news? At first, I seriously thought I may have been sentled. And then the more I read into this, the legitimacy behind the reports, I found out that, yes, Steph Curry is going to be the assistant general manager of the Davidson Wildcats, while he not only plays in the NBA, but dominates and chases a fifth NBA championship. Curry is the first active player in U.S. major professional sports to take an administrative job with an NCAA team. In his new role, he's going to provide guidance to the men's and women's team based on his college and professional experience. He'll work with the GM, and this is the most intriguing part. If you are a fan of the Davidson Wildcats, he, his wife Aisha, and longtime Davidson College supporters Don, Matt, and Erica Berman will start an 8-figure fund for both the men's and women's program. 8 figures, at least $10 million we're talking about. Is Davidson, out of the Atlantic 10, about to be bringing in some serious recruits with NIL money due to Steph Curry's contributions? We'll have to find out, but we've seen crazier things. And man, if the Davidson Wildcats turn into a team out of the A-10 that is a power, that's a top 25 perennial team because they're landing McDonald's All-Americans and big-time recruits because they have the money to do so because of Steph Curry and some other boosters, that is pretty cool to say the least. Curry said his Davidson experience was top-notch, had the opportunity to play basketball at the highest level, got a great education, great network through the Davidson alumni, and he wants the high-character student-athletes to have the same experience. Pretty cool stuff from Steph Curry, who, by the way, has been playing very good basketball for the Dubs. How good, you ask? Let's run through the splits. Because let's not forget, there were some times this year where it looked like Curry had legitimately lost a step. Not only that, but lost a little bit of joy from the game that he loves playing. We saw press conferences where he said, I mean, he didn't directly say we're cooked, but he said we're mid, which, I mean, do the translation there. There were plenty of times where you could just tell that he was not really enjoying the product that was around him and that the Warriors were putting on the floor. But the splits, man, it is truly incredible stuff. You look at what he did to start the year in November, and he got off to a good start. 23 points per game that month, shot at 47% from the floor, 44% from deep. December was not good. I mean, the points total, 21 a game. For Steph Curry, it's crazy that that's not good. But it was more the shooting. He shot at just 40% from the floor, 36% from deep. The assist numbers were a little bit down. The turnover numbers were a little bit up. It just was not great basketball overall from Curry. And man, has he flipped that switch. In his last 17 games, February, March, he's averaging 30 points per game and about 6.5 assists per night. Shooting at 40% from three and 46% from the floor. Curry has been outstanding. Can they keep the good times rolling? 5 straight wins for Golden State, trying to turn that into 6 when the Sacramento Kings come to town on Thursday. We will have a post-game show, of course. Kylan Mills will join us before that game to break down what she's seen in the last couple of weeks from Golden State. And just good times all around. Thanks to Festus Ezeli for joining the show. We will talk to you guys soon. This is Locked On Warriors. It's free and available. If it's free, it's for me, and it should be for you too. Peace, everyone.